Okay, we're gonna try something out. So this lovely little piece of equipment, is called the Arc. It's the Pilates Arc. Spine corrector is what it's based off of. Did you ever have one of those days where you really second guess the fact that you cut your bangs? This would be one of them. I have swirly early bangs. This would be one of them. Okay, so I have had 10 Rolfing sessions, R-O-L-F-I-N-G, 10 Rolfing sessions. Over the course of the 10 sessions, I've started in January, and over the course of the 10 sessions, I have released a little bit more and a little bit more. And then in the midst of the 10, I have found my own Rolfing techniques along the way, as in I've adapted then some self-myofascial, right? So self-Rolfing techniques that I've added in. Not that I've created, just ones that I can tell in my body. So it's very intuitive as far as where my body knows it needs it, and then where I can take the little. So I have these little balls that I'm laughing at because when I bought them, I thought that they would be the size of a tennis ball. So I had to ask Jacqueline, like, what in the heck are these things? I probably said not a nice word, because I was like, what the? But they're not the size of a tennis ball. And I poured out my little bag, and there are 2 each that are soft this way and hard this way. Yeah, you can go there. And then 2 itty bitty ones are 4. There's 4 bigger ones and 4 smaller ones. And the smaller ones, same thing. 2 that are hard, 2 that are softer. And I asked Jacqueline, I said, what in the world are these things? And she said, they're the small ones, and they are for like your hands and your face. And when Jacqueline released my face, that was the weirdest, most bizarre, and yet most satisfying up until session 10. Incredible. So I had a client here last week, and we pulled these bad boys out because her hands were just giving her a lot of fits. She's a hairdresser. So she put the little small one. I had to run inside and grab a book real quick. And so while I was doing that, she was kind of playing around, because that's the bits of these things, is that intuitive, like you got to figure out where it works for you. So she just, on the Cadillac, she just put the little ball down. She placed her hand down. Not a lot of pressure. She started with just her own hand, and then she gave her other hand. And then it doesn't need a lot of rolling. It literally could just be the pressure, right? So we can release the hand. And anyways, her hand, if you put your thumb on your ball of your hand here, so fingers, ball, palm, heel of hand, right? So it kind of matches the foot structure. But this pad right here was really, really thick. And she showed me, because this side was thick on this side had been that way. And that's the side that she had sat there with the little balls. And it was soft. It was so pretty freaking cool. So on Sunday this week, I had session number 10. Anyways, these are phenomenal. This is the melt method. I'll link that. I'm also going to throw a link up here for this, because this bad boy is hands down. But we are all going to test this in real time. And I'm sure I have a video somewhere of me laying down on the Arc in real time as I lay down. And I always tell my clients and my members, no matter what kind of crazy structure, form I can make on the Reformer or the Cadillac, being able to sit down on the Arc and get immediate rollback effect on the Arc, where I can lay my rear end down in the well. So where my butt is right now is the lip. Where my back is right now is the Arc. So the ability for my body to go in, butt in the well, and drape my body backwards. So that has always been a very heavy limitation for me. From the moment I've started working with the equipment, it's always been a thing. My mentor, when I first, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. My mentor, when I was going through balanced body training, when I sat down the first time, sorry, when I sat down for the first time on the arc and I put my butt down in the well and I reached back, she was like, nope, you're not going to ever do that. We're going to put a little pad back behind you because we need your head to be able to lay on the mat easily. So I had a lot of release. I really am not expecting to completely go onto the arc because that kind of scares that I would have that much release. But I'm already just at the front edge of the lip, like towards the well. And this is way more than I have gotten in the past. I can already tell I'm kind of arcing a little bit. So I'm going to slowly work my way down. But I have clients, literally, the majority of folks can find their little butt in the well. And then they can, oh my God, oh my God, oh my. So all the way through the 10 sessions, I kept talking to Jacqueline about whether I was going to become a Rolfer or not because it's so expensive to get the certification. You can see it. I still need some more release back here, but that will come with time. And also just a thought process about bony structures and our own pre-genetic disposition towards flexibility, mobility within our own bony prominences, right? So like where you have vertebrae to vertebrae, the vertebrae, the bone itself, that is not adjustable. I mean, we can absolutely lift heavy things and make our bones more dense. And that would be the inside of the bones. But I'm not necessarily going to grow a bone at this point, right? Especially at 55, I'm more apt to start to, or not start, but I've probably been on a decline of bony, my bone density, especially since my mother had osteoporosis and her mother had osteoporosis. So there's a definite predisposition genetic makeup for that. Hence why I lift weights and why I do the things that I do so that I can try to offset that. But the kyphotic curve of a lady, especially in women, you see it. Men get it, but women really get it very pronounced. And it's that roundness of the upper spine here. I'm going to move into it, but more often than not, when people have a kyphotic curve, they live in the upper back, being very rounded, head very forward. And what we released on Sunday was 18 years worth of not just my upper back, but this whole structure from my foot all the way through my inner thigh of my right leg. And it was insanely emotional. Like it was crazy. It was crazy what I went through as she was able to finally release this. So up until that moment, I kind of, no, I'm not going to Rolf and I'm not going to get manipulative within people's bodies and that kind of thing because you have to get very personal. Elbows and arms and knuckles and all the things getting in places where you just need, the person needs release. And the person on the backside of it needs to be willing to let you do that work. And I haven't done a full, obviously, Rolfing school. I've taken the things that I've learned from Jacqueline and I've adapted those towards some of my clients since I started in January. I just cannot believe the release I'm getting right now. And the release I got on Sunday, and that was a response that I wasn't expecting it to come from. I always thought that my issues with my hip, my back, my shoulder, I thought all of this was from my foot, from the ball of my foot having a bunion and arthritis in it. But that is not the case, as it turns out. It's a very, from the delivery of my youngest issue. And that's a story for another day, but that is where this leg has gone into basically a conversation of being an active hold. Anyways, just fascinating. So maybe I'll just become that Rolfer that I think I'm not going to become. That's amazing. So I have a link to a video that I created many moons ago on the arc, and I'd be happy to, I'll link that somewhere around here so that you can go in and take part of that. Super easy, free video, but you have to have the arc. But she's relatively inexpensive. You can buy her off of Amazon. I can do a link for that as well. I can do links for anything. Anyways, there you go. I was not expecting to record all that, but there you go. That was incredibly insane.